Hey guys, it's John from the Busycast. We have an Orc army coming to the channel fairly soon. George and Patrick are building it. The reason they're building it is because of a doubles tournament coming up in Portsmouth. And basically we're going to talk through the list. We've just played a game. We didn't film it for the channel because the models weren't painted. But we're going to talk through the list, how it works. Fully painted. You've done a really good job so far though, so I look forward to seeing it on the channel. But we're going to talk through the list. The list can be found below in the description if you want to check it out, and how it works and the strengths and weaknesses of it. So do you guys want to tell us what the list is? Starting, run us through it.
Yeah, so basically we sat down, as John says, this tournament and messed around with a few different ideas. And then when we decided not to do some boring Wraith Knight bike Eldar combo, like Liam.
That's mainly you.
We thought we'd do orcs because like no one does orcs.
War and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it meant we figured pretty much everyone would like us because no one hates on orcs, right?
That is true, actually.
Yeah.
Not now, it's not.
Well, yeah.
It was true.
So we sat down and looked at the codex. Clearly not probably the most competitive book. Don't want to get down that rabbit hole too far, but
Yeah.
it's not at the top of the tree, let's put it there. And I think we played around with a stomper idea. I really wanted to take a stomper, but we couldn't take that in the list. So then we were looking at the big, what's it called? The big dread thing.
The Gorkanauts.
Gorkanauts, which are really cool models, but also
really rubbish.
a bit shit. So then we thought, classic speed freaks, this is the way to go. And that's basically where we ended up. So how many bikes can we shoehorn into a double CAD? Because there's unfortunately no decent formation for taking anything except 6,000 boys, and even I can't paint that much.
Yeah.
So it's how many bikes can we shoehorn in, and what we're going to put with it. And you had some stuff, didn't you?
Yeah, so I have a unit of flash kits that I just love because they're completely random. The random AP just makes them either awesome or totally rubbish.
Yeah, it's like take your Terminators away, but then 3 scouts are like, no, fuck you.
No, so yeah, definitely entertaining. For me, that's really the appeal for the Orks is I like an army that's I do like to win, but I'd like something that takes me slightly away from that gamesmanship side of me, which can sometimes come out. Whereas when I play the Orks, I can sort of focus on charging in, shouting war a lot, and having a good time.
Orcs is an easy way to do that.
Yeah, so you can get kind of a balance of fun and hopefully a bit competitive.
Yeah.
Which I think we've sort of landed on, hopefully.
Yeah, so it's quite good. So
Yeah.
because Pat had some stuff kicking around that he wanted to use, it kind of stopped us min-maxing too much. So there's quite a lot of bikes, there's quite a lot of Tankbustas, but then there's also the flash kits. Then because Pat wanted to take flash kits, I was like, well, I want to take a plane. So we've got a Burna Bomber. It's kind of because we're brothers. John didn't mention that, but so obviously there's going to be some tension. So how we ended up...
Sexual tension.
Obviously. And there's no other
Is there any
type.
kind?
There's no other
Only
type.
the weekends.
Yeah.
You're right,
Yeah, so... And then we kind of hit on this idea. So it's like one side of the army is brutal but cunning. And the other side's cunning but brutal, this guy. One side's like black with red stripes. The other side's red with black stripes. So we've got it kind of reflects each other. It's a bit different. So I've got a
Very
plane.
cool.
And he's got the flash kit. So, but yeah, we had a pretty good game just now, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean,
We did.
A point to note: Confrontation bans Forge World.
Yeah.
So the Orc Warboss, I forget his name, Zard Snark or something.
The one that I should take bikes.
Yeah, so you can take him as a warlord and he lets you take bikes, which obviously would have suited them for shoehorning as many bikes as possible. He's banned. Ricky doesn't like Forge World, even though he owns numerous Forge World models.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It did make list writing really interesting though. Trying to do single detachment as well, so 1,000 points each, single detachment, single kind of single faction. Although he's relaxed that a little bit.
Has he?
Yeah.
No.
Well, you can take Ynarri.
So he has.
Let's not jump ahead.
Right.
With the new books from Gathering Storm, Ricky's
Yeah.
allowed Ynarri as a faction, which clearly is
Oh,
Dark Elder,
right, okay.
Dark Elder, and
Right.
but he's allowed that as a single faction. So he's
Okay.
relaxed it slightly,
Yeah.
but it's still otherwise single faction.
Okay.
It's just another dig.
Yeah.
Come on, George.
Let's hope he doesn't watch
What's
this.
in the army, George?
So we'll go for the first. You do the 2 halves. Go for the first half. You can talk for your half, and then you can talk for your half. Is that doable? That easy enough?
It's kind of the same, isn't it? Go
So
on.
just speak at the same time. Then.
Right, well, we've got... What have we got? We've got...
Well, we'll take a pause because John will have to cut this in now because we've got.
I don't like cutting these videos.
Oh, really?
Just roll with it.
We're
Keep
gonna
going.
run
Go,
into
go, 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 go,
Any
go.
jobs that happen, they're in.
Right. Right, so what we got? We've got 4... Obviously the bikes, we've split them into 4 smaller units, which are just 3-man bike squads with knobs with big choppers. So they're going to be for generally going around picking up objectives and hopefully bashing on some tanks if there's opportunities arrive with a big chopper.
Yes, we looked at Power Claw's quite expensive. We wanted to keep the units really cheap and disposable so we can use them for soaking up Overwatch if they spend half the game sat on an objective doing nothing else, it's not a massive point sink. So, but big choppers gives them strength 7 on the charge, which is enough to pop anything AV10 at the back. You got a decent chance of popping it on the charge, which we ticked off today. So that paid off. It was good. So we've got four little units like that.
One big squad. So that's nine bikers, Nob with a power claw this time for punchy, and that's basically a delivery system for our 2 Warbosses, which are both tooled up with claws, and a Painboy.
And the lucky stick, is that in there?
Lucky Stick's in there.
So good.
Amazing.
Really good.
Plus 1 weapon skill to the whole unit, as well as re-rolls.
Childish.
Yeah.
Childish is the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
For the
Although
point.
You know all about that with your elder, I'm sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Painful because it's true.
First appearance, he's getting the digs in. I like it.
Good.
It's my boy.
Carry on.
Wow.
Yeah.
royalty should
And
be
so, because we wanted to share the love, so we got the lucky stick for one Warboss, and the other one we gave him
Gas bags.
gas bags to Blitz bike, because we've got the Forge World Warboss model, which is so cool, and we thought we'd have to take the bike. It doesn't. It's like gives you an AP3 shoot, an extra turbo boost. So it's basically a waste of points, but
It's cool.
it's cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. And a Painboy, yeah. So Painboy just on a bike. So the idea is you've got that big Death Star unit. It's got the 3+ Jink if it turbo boosts with the Feel No Pain. And the idea is get that across the board, get that in your opponent's face, and enough ablative wounds to then throw 2 Warbosses and a Nob in with power claws to hopefully wreck something.
Yeah.
Which again we achieved today, although we were just discussing whether it was points worth it. But it did give the guys some problems dealing with this big unit coming across the board at them. So we're backing up all the bikes with Tankbustas. Got 3 units of 5 Tankbustas in trucks with bomb Squigs. So that's basically a bit of weight of strength 8 AP3 fire. They've got the Tank Hunter, so they get the re-rolls on armor pens. They're pretty decent. Unfortunately, the change to grenade rules means they're not quite as good at jumping out and sticking melter bombs all over stuff, or tank busting bombs. But hey, so
They still do the job.
yeah, it's quite a lot of that strength 8 AP3 fire is pretty handy, and then the Squig bombs as well when you just really need to get the hits off. So nice little bit of alpha strike there, and you just get 9 bomb Squigs off the first turn, hopefully. Yeah, and then the flash gets in a truck. Troops, so it's double CAD. So we've got 2 Boyz squads in trucks with Shoot Boys with bosses with claws again, so they can jump out and try and pop a tank, and then 2 Gretchin mobs. Burna Bomber we've discussed. Really nice bit of alpha strike on that as well, because it comes out. It's got the bomb you can drop, and then it's got 4 rockets, small blasts, and they're strength 5 AP4 ignores cover. And the idea there is you can come out and like anything like Pathfinders, Scouts, which the guy's stuck in the 4+ or 3+ cover, take those force multiplier units,
Make
just
them
burn them out of cover, yeah. And it's quite cheap, it's about 100 points. And then the last thing, which favourite unit I think is 2 units of Lobbas. So
5 Lobber mech guns each, which we've really enjoyed building as well, haven't we?
yeah, kit bashing them, yeah.
Yeah, so we bought 3 of the GW kits and then kit bashed the rest, sort of to make it a bit more cost effective. But they turned out looking really cool. They look very orky and
Yeah, we're looking forward to getting them painted
Very
up.
cool looking.
yeah, and they perform fantastically. You know, they're just strength 5, AP5 blasts, barrage, but for 98 points for 5 of them, they put out a lot of pain for their
They
points.
do, and they're consistent as well. Every turn they're shooting, which is nice.
That's them loaded dice.
Yeah, and the fact that
loaded
they
dice.
have
The
loaded
ammo
dice
runt,
help.
so you can give them 3 points for an ammo run, which gives you a re-roll. So if you miss your first shot, you can re-roll it, get you centered where you need to be,
Yeah,
and it just makes it for Orks an extremely reliable
Yeah.
damage output.
I think that's what it is. It's reliable. Where so much of us is like 1 in 3 shots might hit, whereas this it's like you're guaranteed to get some hits, and it's been really handy.
It sort of works throughout the army though, because we've got twin linked all the Dakka guns and the bikes. You're re-rolling everything. It just makes it actually into quite a shooty.
I was surprised. Obviously, you'll see this on the channel very, very shortly in all these models that they're talking about. Make sure you press subscribe so that you do see that stuff when it comes around. But yeah, well, I forgot. My head went into subscribe mode and I forgot what we were talking about.
That's all he's bothered about.
the insane amount of shooting that came up in that game, which we'll eventually see. It's amazing how much there was. And I know you're only hitting on 5s and stuff, but a lot of that stuff is twin linked, so it did actually do quite a lot of damage. Just from shooting. We didn't really see that much combat in that game. We did eventually towards the end, but yeah, it was fairly balanced between shooting and combat as to what did the damage, which is surprising.
Well, I think your lists. So John had is Raven Wayne, no major surprises.
Nope.
And Liam bought an Eldar list, which you're going to do.
Again, no surprises.
Well, no, yeah, but it was different because it was the Ynarri. Is it
Yeah.
Ynarri? So I think they're going to do a video on that as well. But that was a bit different. That's the first time I'd already seen that in a game, so that was quite cool. It was a lot of fun actually, but they were both quite shooty lists. Ours is actually quite a shooty list, even though it's in your face, but actually it's Shoota boys. It's lots of twin link Dakka guns. So actually there's a lot of shooting in there as well. It's only really one close combat unit,
which is the big Death Star.
Which is the big Death Star bite unit, and the rest are kind of combat capable, but it's not really full.
But the nice thing is, because you've got lots of units, they're all mobile, although each on their own is quite weak. You can pile them in together to win the combats you need to.
Yeah.
So it makes it quite...
Yeah, we sort of sat down...
Versatile.
Yeah, versatile, yeah. We sort of looked at, the triumvirate, isn't it? It's mobility, firepower, survivability, and we've kind of ticked 2.5.
Survivabilities.
It's hard to fix
Less
survivability with
so.
Orks, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's just no real way to do
You
it.
can
We've got
almost
numbers.
You can almost increase your survivability just by having more numbers.
That's how you're survivable, as
Just
it were.
just a bigger wound pool. And
Yeah.
You don't tend to notice it as much.
Which is kind of where we've gone with. I think if we wanted to be really min-max the list, as we said, I think I'd probably drop the flash kits, the bomber. I know, but they're fun to play with. But I think that's the way to do it. And you take more bikes, so bigger squads.
Yeah.
Shooter boys probably swap for Grots.
Grots, because I think they add something, but do you need it? Maybe put the points in power claws on those bike squads then.
So why did you go Shooter boys specifically? Considering they cost the same as Choppa boys. And Orks really are. So every time I've ever built Ork lists, played Orks, it's always been about maximising combat potential. And those additional hand weapons give you that +1 attack on the charge. And considering they're only strength 4 on the charge, surely massive numbers of attacks is what's going to hit your wounds. But you've gone Shooter boys, which I don't normally see.
Well, I find
talk me into it.
I'm totally down for the Shooter boys because with the introduction of Overwatch, obviously it's not a new thing now, but 6-up armor save boys. When you charge something, you lose half your boys. You're losing half that benefit straight away. And a lot of the time, we're talking about a mobile unit that you can't throw it into anything. If you charge a tactical squad with a squad of boys, you can't reliably win that combat. Because they're going to hit you first, they're going to shoot you before you get in, and so you can't just rely on them to go in and smash face. You could probably, if you invested points in armor, perhaps it'd be worth it. But with the Shooter boys, you can sit back, you can shoot, you can wait till you got your support, and you can go in. And if you think about it, they're going to shoot before they go in. It's that extra attack you're getting as a shooting attack anyway. Okay, it's hitting on a 5 rather than a 4, but actually your damage output when you charge is very similar. And you've got a much longer range to shoot with more firepower, so they can do more damage more of the time.
I think we math hammered it, and clearly it's going to depend on the dice in the day. But actually, if you charge a Choppa squad, whatever they're called, those combat ones into attack squad, it's kind of the knob that's going to win you the combat or not, and it's the balance of probabilities. It's not guaranteed. So yeah, it's like Pat says, the Shooter's more versatile, but they're also a knob delivery system where you need to get a knob somewhere with a power claw.
Yeah.
I think the choppers only really start to make sense. We've got really big mobs, and that's not how we're using them. So if you're doing a green tide, then maybe that's what they're about, because you're gonna move, you're gonna run, and you're gonna charge. You're not gonna shoot. So it doesn't matter what you're shooting. You'll take the extra attack.
Yeah.
One thing we did realise in that game, it became fairly obvious fairly quickly, because me and Liam in that game, we played a list that was, I'd say, fairly competitive. We're going there to try and win. Yeah. So Eldar and Ravenwing. And we thought that we'd smash the Orks, and we didn't. And I wanted us to tone everything down. I wanted us to make the list less good to make a better game and all this stuff. But we showed up, and when we started playing, we realised very quickly that the Ork list was actually quite powerful. And the reason we think it's powerful...
Well, hang on, mate, let's be fair. It's not the list. It was our game plan.
Yeah.
Cunning.
It's a skill. And the fact that they're using weighted dice and all the sixes. And season the initiative as well.
It's the best season.
We're really top tip.
You'll never see this.
I'm
but
really
actually, didn't happen.
Sorry.
Wasn't filmed, didn't happen. We didn't lose.
Channel roll.
But the reason it's so good is because it's sort of anti-meta. So the fact that we're going to a tournament, a lot of the meta right now, if you go to tournaments, is sort of small elite style armies. So you've got Eldar with Wraith Knights, and you've got Tau with loads of Riptides and Storm Surgers and all that sort of thing. Whereas if you have a Horde army that's still a little bit survivable, because it can be because of the wound pool, and the bikes are a bit tough.
Well, they got the jig, so free up jink when you use Turbo Boost.
Exactly. You can actually, you're throwing out so many shots, you can actually deal with that stuff fairly well. Not like, it's not going to be easy, but it is a little bit anti-meta, which will work in your favour at the tournament. We think you'll do quite well.
Yeah, I do. I was
Which is
massively surprised at the damage output from shooting on the first turn.
Yeah, I was massively.
Like when we set up, there's obviously always that chance that you'll seize. You don't normally expect it. But when we set up, I was like, yeah, if they seize, it's not a massive drama. And then that firepower came in. And I mean, it doesn't help that someone has got an amazing rerollable jinx save who didn't fucking jinx. Put his most valuable model at the front.
Unfortunately, never happened, but we just blew his Dark Shroud out.
Didn't happen. Didn't happen.
And even if you did
Not on the channel.
you don't have to put it on.
Didn't happen.
You have to upload it, don't you?
Didn't happen.
We've got some photographs.
No, it doesn't count. Could have staged that.
We'll do it again.
We will do it
We'll
again.
have to do it again, and we'll probably get tabled.
Yeah,
like 2
we'll
turns.
win that one.
I'll go filth then.
Oh yeah.
No, because then they'll just cry at me again.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, mate.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
So yeah, that's the list, and that's how it's gonna sort of challenge the meta a little bit, and therefore should do quite well. What is your overall game plan? It's just you've got stuff in the back which is gonna fire constantly, your lobbers, and then you've got just charge straight, literally just plough forward with everything.
Kind of, yeah. So basically, we've got the Warbosses, which is the idea is they're going to smash something. So it's picking something in the list, and we actually really struggled with yours because we knew the Dark Shroud was a target because that was a force multiplier for John. We also had our eye on the Wraith Knight, not so much as a force multiplier so much, but just I was expecting Liam to be really aggressive with that, which he was, and it would just create us all sorts of problems. So we kind of ID'd that the Dark Shroud, we could probably take that down with the Tankbustas because of the Strength 8 and the Tank Hunter, and kind of it was either them or the Warbosses. The only way we're going to take the Wraith Knight down. So that's what we set up. So we set the Tankbustas up opposite the Dark Shroud, the Warboss up opposite the Wraith Knight. We drove forwards and
Bring you back to the question.
Crossed our fingers. No, but that's the answer. So that's what we do. So we look at the opposing list, identify. You kind of got a couple of strong units there that are going to deal with certain types of threats. Line them up, get in range, and cross your fingers.
So they're kind of, so those are kind of our unit. We've got a couple of units, the Tankbusters and the Warbosses.
Yeah.
Take down big stuff, the main key threats, and then we've got the mobility to score our points and tactical objectives.
You're all over the table. You have a massive footprint, so it's fairly easy to know. Yeah, it was all across one side of the board, and when everything moved up, there was no flank to try and work your way down. It was just like boom. So you do have enough spread that you're pretty much always going to be next to an objective you need to get from like turn 2.
That's the idea of those little bite units of having the grots who they're 35 points. So if they sit on one objective,
at the back,
it might
easy.
for the whole game. Don't care, and they can do the same with the Lobbas, park on objective, which is what we did. So it just keeps like Maelstrom. That's what we're looking at. Maelstrom, just keep it ticking. Just keep it ticking because kill points, and we're doing kill points this tournament.
Smashed on them.
We're gonna get dicked on kill points.
That's
so
the problem.
We need to score high on Maelstrom.
I did a video a while back on advanced tournaments on advanced tactics on how to win tournaments, and one of them was you've got to play to the format. And shut up. And one of them, I know how to, I just don't do it. And one of the points was that you need to play to the tournament format. So one of the downsides of this list is there are a lot of kill points to give away. However, you do counteract that with the fact that you should smash Maelstrom. And some armies, I mean, you tabled us, essentially.
No.
One model left. He had a flyer left.
Didn't table me.
Never
happened.
None of it happened.
Exactly.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Has anyone else got anything they want to add about the army? We're excited to see it. Other than that,
to play with, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good fun. It's a bit different, and that was one of the reasons for doing it. And we're sorry we didn't get it painted in time to film this game because it's really good.
It's going to be
we'll
one
have
of those ones that we saw it. We're either going to kill our opponent, or we're probably going to die.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I think
it does fall apart pretty fast when it goes wrong.
Yeah,
you notice.
It's interestingly different though. So I think you probably, like we've already discussed it. I think you'll probably surprise a lot of people.
I think so.
Well, I wasn't that fearful of it, genuinely. Not being a dick. I wasn't that fearful of it. You look at Orks often and think, I'm not that bothered.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that's often people's mistakes. There's a tournament I went to previously, like I said to you before, the guy took 160 Ork boys, and he faced in a 4 Imperial Knight list and managed to drop 3 of them. I think people don't expect Orks to be that strong, but that mass of green bodies coming across is quite frightening, but you seem to have managed to find that balance with the supporting fire from the Lobbas and stuff. I know Lobbas are cheap, and they're not terrible at strength 5 AP4, but I think they're probably your hardest working unit in that game that we played.
Certainly that one.
They did so much damage, I left them alone and thought, they're 18 points, what the hell are they going to do? And they just bomb, especially your bikes, and they kick the
Yeah,
shit
they
out of
do
your
a lot.
bikes.
They shot your sear counts off the table.
Yeah.
Over 2
Oh, well,
turns.
it's like, yeah, well.
You did roll quite badly. But
Something like that.
Cool.
but actually, talking about working hard points wise, you're right. I mean, in terms of what they made back
yeah.
4 times probably.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, so,
Easily.
yeah. And they did really well in the last game. The last test game we did as well.
Because what are they for 5? They're less than 100 points.
98 or 96. Yeah.
For 5 barrage blasts.
It's about 100 points. Yeah, for 5 blast barrage.
Which
yeah.
you can
Very
reroll with
good.
ammo runs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the way we've taken them with a couple of runts in each, it's just over 100 points. But yeah, they're really points efficient.
Surprisingly good for 100 points.
And
Really,
again,
really
like a massive footprint, which can be a downside, but like drop pod
Yeah.
armies, we're just going to be able to fill our deployment zone. So
Yeah.
try it. It'll be quite interesting.
Sounds good. Well, this army will be coming to the channel very, very shortly. That's what this video is all about. So you can look forward to seeing that soon, and it will obviously be a doubles game. So we'll have the first doubles game on the channel. We'll make that this game. But yeah, if you guys can like, comment and subscribe so you get all the free content. We're also members of Patreon, which you can check out below, and we are sponsored by War Games, who you can also check out below. But that's it. Cheers for watching, guys.
Bye-bye.